here at Anderson Appliance in Mount Vernon with Brian Weiner, our chef from Market Street Catering by Hagen. And Brian, nothing really says fall like butternut squash, I think.
Oh, squash, apples.
Yeah.
So we got a great little dish here.
Yeah, tell us what we're going to make today.
Okay. We're going to do a pan-roasted salmon. We have some beautiful king salmon here. Butternut squash. We're going to make a little hash with it.
Now that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Hash with squash and apple, you say, too,
Yeah.
right?
So butternut squash, we'll use some Honeycrisp apple here, a little Yukon Gold potato, some onions, and then we're going to put that with a little warm horseradish vinaigrette on it. Horseradish and apple, again, such a classic combination. We're going to do a little watercress salad up on top of it.
Okay.
So
let's start going.
we'll get going. So we'll season up our salmon.
I bet you're going to do something really simple with salmon here, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to keep this simple because this king salmon is so good by itself.
Little salt, little pepper.
Little salt, little pepper. I'm not going to mess with it too much. And then I'm going to pan roast it. What that means is I'm going to start it on the stove top to kind of brown it in the pan. A little bit of, I like using called a 50-50. I use half butter, half oil. I'll throw the butter in right before, right as I throw the salmon in. And what the butter does is it has milk solids in there, and they kind of brown up like brown butter sauce. So these help the fish brown up, give it a little nutty flavor in there. So I'm going to throw that in. I'm going to let this get almost to the smoking point. I know, like a lot of people when they saute, and like, oh, how do you keep it from sticking? Well, it's sticking because the pan is not hot enough.
Oh.
It needs to be really, really hot to create that caramelization and that crust. I think we have a little bit of smoke rolling off our pan there. You see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that's what you're looking for. I'm going to start these flesh side down.
Oh.
And I have the skin on, so you hear that little crisp? Mm-hmm. That little tss, it means it's hot enough. I'm not overloading the pan, just 4 pieces. Now I'm going to throw my butter in. You'll see that butter melt really quick and it'll start to get nutty and kind of brown. So I'm going to brown them on one side, flip them onto the skin side, and I'm going to put them in the oven. These are pretty thick. These are about 2 inches thick, so these will take anywhere between 8 and 15 minutes probably. So I think they've got nice little brown on each side, call it caramelizing. Oh yeah, look at that nice little crust on there.
Yep.
Nothing worse than salmon that's all kind of poached.
Looks beautiful.
Yep, so we'll put those in the oven.
Okay.
Come back to those in a few minutes and we'll make our hash in the meantime.
So while the salmon's in the oven, you're going to
Yep.
show us this hash. This is a butternut squash
Yeah.
apple hash
Yep.
technique that you got. What kind of apple you have here?
So again, my favorite, Honeycrisp from Bellwood Acres. So good
Okay.
this time of year and only around this time of year.
Okay, so I'm assuming that the onions are going to, we got
Yes.
a pan,
We got a pan.
some butter.
Ooh, it's really hot.
Fry it
So I'm
up.
going to do a little bit of oil, a little butter mix again. We just want to
Okay.
put a little color on these. A little bit of salt. Always helps to season and pull the moisture out of them. A little pepper. So let this go for a couple of minutes, kind of over medium heat, just cooking those onions out. And then we're going to chop up our apple. Okay, apple ready. Let our onions cook down a little bit. Nice, they're already getting a little bit of color on them. A little more butter. Never hurt anybody. Apples.
Potato. Those are potatoes, Brian.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, what do I know?
Potatoes. You're calling me out again. They're cut the same size.
Butternut squash,
Right.
potatoes. Now these are apples.
Apples. I love this. Very pretty, colorful.
I've never heard of a hash with squash and apples before.
You
Is this something
you
came up
haven't
with?
lived. You have not lived until you've had a hash with apples. All right, our hash is done. We're going to hit it with a little bit of horseradish vinaigrette here.
I was wondering because so far you don't really have. You have like what? Oil, butter, salt, pepper in here.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. So we're just going to spoon some of
And
this
this
over.
is what again?
This is a little champagne vinegar, shallots, some grated horseradish, a little olive oil.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so we just coat that. See, now look how shiny that becomes. Oh, so that looks great. Put a little of that on the plate, and then we're going to throw our salmon on top, and then we're going to dress our watercress over there. Beautiful looking hash. Throw our piece of fish right on top of that. Pick a nice one here. And so the skin's on, and watch this, this is beautiful.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
There's your stacking technique again.
Yeah, stack, stack, schmack. A little bit of dressing here on my crest.
And what is this?
This is a watercress. It's actually called upland crest. It's in the watercress family. I'm just going to put a little cool salad. What's nice about putting a salad, it's kind of like a salad with salmon and hot. It's nice. It adds a cool kind of relief to everything because everything else on here is hot.
Okay. Temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise, so it's a nice little contrast, and we'll just get cute like this. Look at that.
Wow, look
Isn't that
at
pretty?
that.
And you know what? We'll even do this. We'll even get more fufu. A little bit of that on the plate. Around. Beautiful looking plate.
Pan-roasted salmon
yeah.
with apple, butternut squash, hash with horseradish.
And watercress salad.
Horseradish, watercress salad dressing.
Yeah, like that.
Or horseradish dressing. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
You ready? It doesn't stay pretty for long when you start putting your fork through it.
I know we're just like diving in here.
Dive in.
Like I haven't eaten for days.
Oh, that salmon's great. That horseradish.
I think this is one of my favorite things. Wait, everything that you cook is my favorite thing. Brian
Make up
Weiner
your mind.
from Market Street Catering by Hagen, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
And you can get these recipes online too at kvos.com.